$90. $90.
I said, hold up, wait a minute.
Well, I hope your wallets are ready, ladies and gentlemen, because not only is the price for the Switch 2, as you can currently see here on screen right now, is now available, $90 for Switch 2 games, and that's physical, $80 for digital. And as we're coming to find out, as you can see with all the tabs open up on my browser right now, and I'm sure more stuff's going to come out after this video is done and recorded and all that fun stuff, apparently when it comes to certain games, there is something called the Nintendo Switch 2 Game Key Card Overview, where just like with Xbox and PlayStation and everyone else, apparently some of these will not actually include the actual disc, or cartridge in this case, and you just get the code. And then apparently it's been explained a little bit saying that how this works. Step 1, insert the game key card into your system. Step 2, download the game. The game itself isn't included on the game key card, so you have to download it before you can play. When you insert the game key card, further instructions will be displayed on the home menu. Follow the instructions to download the game. Please note, to download the game, you must have enough free space in your Nintendo Switch 2 system memory. Finally, play the game.
That's disgusting!
Oh boy. Okay, so I don't know how everyone else is feeling. Got some ideas. But if you happen to have watched the hour-long Switch 2 Directs, there was a lot shown off, and a lot of it, for the most part, looked really good and really nice and everything. And then they finished it, and we're like, okay, we don't know the price yet, and we don't know when we can start to pre-order or anything. And lo and behold, every single website and social media person started posting. And apparently if you click this link right here, we'll leave it down in the description below if you guys want to, you can go ahead and pick your bundle or just the Switch 2 itself. Side note, if you are someone who lives in Japan, whether you are Japanese or not, you are over here like I am, there is a Japanese only version of the Switch 2 in terms of the language. Only a few things will be able to change the language, but overall it'll all be in Japanese. That is going to be 50,000 yen. If you want the multi-language one, that is going to be 70,000 yen here. So just keep that in mind. US prices seem to be about $44,999, or basically $500 for the bundle. And yeah, there's so much information that keeps coming out and everything. And it would take forever to go through every single thing, like lists of games that are going to get updates. Some of the Switch 2 edition games are going to make you pay more. For example, like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. However, there are other versions of the game that are supposed to be getting updates, but we don't know if they're actually going to be enhanced updates or just simply updates so that you can do their new game share feature and everything that they showed off in the Direct and everything like that. So it's hard to say exactly what these are, because it even says right here that the free updates may improve performance or simply add support for features such as game share in select games. So you need to keep that in mind right there. But regardless, this is just, there's a lot of stuff right now, and people's emotions are definitely all over the place, because again, the big one right now is the fact that Switch 2 games are now $80 digital, $90 for physical, and some of the physical games will not come with the actual cartridge, meaning you could potentially pay $10 extra to get the digital version of the game, essentially, whatever that entails. So lots of emotions going on right now. I mean, we even have prices for the Pro controller, which is $80. We have the left and right Joy-Cons are $90. Those are more expensive. Hope you don't get stick drift. Nintendo Switch 2 camera, which, by the way, you have to revoke your gaming or your gamer license if you buy this thing. There's no point in owning this because it's probably gonna be like 1080-30 at most. Do not buy this. Do not support that. Switch dock is $110, when I'm pretty sure the Switch 1 dock was like $30. Now, granted, I do know that they have like the LAN included in there, like they do with the OLED Switch, and then I'm guessing the HDMI 2.1, but still, that is crazy expensive. So yeah, Nintendo dropping the just hammer on everybody when it comes to the prices and everything. So right now, I'm joined by Lethal and Hydros, part of the Direct team and all that stuff. Guys, what are your thoughts? Lethal, let's get your thoughts and opinions on this right now, because we have been on here for almost what feels like 2.5 hours talking about nothing but Switch 2 stuff.
I think so. It's so crazy because like we came off the excitement and hype of the actual Direct, and then we're like just excited to get like the details for like the pre-orders, right, the pricing and everything. So we're like, oh, like what are these extra details? And it's like they're all starting to come together. Like, okay, we got the price. I think for some of us, like we were like okay with the price, like that's an okay like area. And then just the rest of the stuff started to come through, like the game prices, right? And I think that is the big thing. That's the big thing that seems like everybody's kind of talking about right now is the fact that like it is 90 for physical and 80 for digital, which is insane. I mean, of course, I'm going to say that's insane. I don't think I've ever even paid $80 for a physical game. I can't even recall if I ever did. But I don't think I've ever done that. So this is definitely like unprecedented times, right?
I don't want to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt real quick, but just
Yeah.
I need to also say this real quick and then continue your thoughts. For anyone who, whether it's Nintendo, Sony, Xbox, 2K with GTA 6 coming up, if you even think for a second they are not going to raise their prices,
oh yeah,
I need you to go touch grass for a minute. They are 100% going to do that. Expect GTA 6 to be $90 to $100. Expect new PlayStation games to be cost the same. Same with Xbox. All of them are going to do it. Every single one. Anyway, continue.
No, yeah, I was actually going to say that's exactly what I think is going to be the case now, right? Now you're going to see the pricing right across the board. Now you're going to see everybody else charge that, and it's funny because like it was a joke for a long time, and then it was even rumored that GTA 6, right, was going to be like $100, and everybody's like, that's insane. Nobody would do that. Why would they even think about doing that? And now it's like after seeing this, I'm like, damn, this is the reality. Like if these publishers think that they can get away with like upcharging and putting it for that price. I think if anything, it just goes to show that like they're gonna go for it. And Nintendo taking the first step, knowing that people that support Nintendo are most definitely still gonna buy the games. It's not gonna stop people. People will adopt to it. That just really does reinforce the fact that like, yeah, it's a green light across the board now. And so I do think you will see the GTA 6 be like $100 and all that stuff. And so yeah, that I think that's like probably the biggest like upset for me, I think, in terms of like when it comes to this pricing stuff. Nobody wants to see the pricing go up, but of course, there's reasons for that, right? We've spoken. I don't know if we've spoken about it here, but there's all types of reasons. But I think not even going to go into, but there's all types of reasons for that. So the point is, yeah, that part sucks. Everything else about the direct, which I'm sure we'll go into a little bit more, is it's fun to talk about. But this part here is like, oh, that is the gut punch when it comes to this next generation, especially with Nintendo Switch 2.
Idris, what are your initial thoughts and everything?
I agree with everything Lethal said because it's just like, the direct was fun to watch. It was super exciting, lots of hype releases, and then okay, we're waiting for all the information. It's kind of weird they didn't show like the pricing and stuff in the stream, and then it's like all this information is just bam, 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 bam. It's like, oh, one after the other. Oh, like just deflate. It's just like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's a little, it really hurts to see some of this stuff because again, with the current economy stuff, and especially if you live in other countries, it's getting pretty expensive. This do our favorite hobby essentially. For anyone who might have missed certain things, though, I'm trying to go through just all of these things right now when it comes to specs and all that kind of stuff. But the basically from what we understand though is that the screen when it's in handheld mode is going to be 1080p, which is cool. And when docked, it can go up to 4K, but just like with anything, it's going to be only certain games. Not every single game is going to hit actual 4K. I mean, again, this is using a custom NVIDIA chip for the CPU, GPU. So absolutely DLSS 3.0, or maybe even 3.1 or whatever from NVIDIA is going to be used on there. I would be surprised if they had DLSS 4.0. I doubt they do, but who knows? So there's that to note. It is an LCD screen, so it's not OLED, but it's said, I think it's like an quote unquote advanced LCD screen or something like that.
It's a vivid LCD
vivid
with
LCD
HDR.
screen. So again, that's cheaper to make when it uses LCD. So if you wanted the OLED, sorry, unfortunately, although keep in mind, maybe in 2 years, they will have something like that. Obviously it's going to support HDR. It has a landline into the back of the dock and everything, which is really cool. And it still will play Switch 1 games if you have, all your Switch 1 games that are physical, or you bring them over digital. They show that off with the last week's direct and everything. So that's just a bunch of extra information and everything like that. So the multi-language one is a little weird to me personally because it's basically bringing back region locked, essentially, is what it is. Because now it doesn't say it can't play games from other countries. It simply says that the language is set, at least for here in Japan, for example, it is set to Japanese only, and Nintendo accounts with the country/region set to Japan can be linked to the system. I don't know, though, if that means like a US physical game, for example, could work in a Japan-only Nintendo Switch 2. So, I mean, I figured it's because of the weak yen and everything, but I'm not really sure on that one. But then the Switch 2 multi-language one, that is feels like paying $700 for me personally. So we'll have to see if the wife and I can actually get it. But again, they got bundles going on. It goes on sale on June 6th or June 5th. I do wonder if we're actually gonna be able to walk in and buy them off the store shelves and everything. I doubt it.
Oh God, no
doubt
way.
it. But it's hard to say. So again, because like the direct itself was really cool. We got to see something like Mario Kart World. We got to see the new Donkey Kong game, which looks absolutely amazing. That looked real. I did not expect a 3D Mario or 3D Donkey Kong game. And shout out to our friend Goresh. He wanted it and he got it. So then we got to see that there are some updates for old Switch games. These are actually going to cost you money, or if you have a Nintendo Plus online account or the expansion pack, essentially. So not just simply Nintendo Online, but Nintendo Online Plus expansion. If you have that plus the Switch game, apparently you get this. Now, if you lapse it and you don't have it anymore, maybe you probably don't keep the update, would be my guess. So, but we're seeing that for both Zelda games. We are seeing that for Super Mario Party Jamboree, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Pokemon Legends ZA, and Metroid Prime 2. Although I will say personally for me, I'm probably just going to buy the Switch 2 version of the game. I'm not going to buy the Switch version of Metroid Prime 4 and then do that. So hard to say. And I will say this right here. I know a lot of this sounds like it's been doom and gloom. Again, there was a ton of good stuff from the direct itself. There's all pricing is sticker shock, essentially. The fact that Metroid Prime 4 on Switch 2 is going to be able to run quality mode 60 FPS in 4K. Ooh, baby, that is really cool. And the performance mode goes up to 120. Damn, Retro out here just putting all the Switch 2 developers to shame with that right there. That is, whew, man, that is something right there. So, but anyway, again, like a lot of cool features. I mean, even the Joy-Cons being able to go into like the mouse and everything and be able to point, that all stuff all looks really cool and everything like that. Again, it's just the sticker shock, unfortunately, is just like, oh God, why? Why couldn't it have just been GTA to rip the bandage off essentially like that? No, Nintendo comes out. But again, I shouldn't be too shocked. Nintendo is always going to Nintendo, regardless of what the fanboys always say. So, Lethal Hydra, do you have anything else to add that I've maybe missed on that was talked about? You know, obviously we can't go into everything, but anything I've missed?
I just wanted to kind of clarify on like these free updates versus the Switch edition stuff. Like the Zelda and Breath of the Wild thing, they're technically Switch 2 edition games, so they will have purchase upgrade versions. It's just if you have the online expansion, you get those versions for free. Kind of like I would kind of compare it to like PlayStation Plus monthly game in a way, kind of. But that's kind of how that would be. Otherwise, if you don't have it, you can actually buy the actual Switch edition upgrade, which is essentially its own separate game. Versus games like Scarlet and Violet are getting an actual just patch update to the existing game. So that's not the same thing as like the Switch upgrade. They're just getting an update to then handle the Switch 2 hardware on the game that already exists.
So if you're on like Amazon or if you're going to Walmart or just any shop essentially to buy something, essentially on what he's saying is that on the shelf, you'll see an actual Switch 2 case with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom that come with those updates. Or if you have the Switch version and you also happen to have Nintendo Plus expansion online, you're part of that, whether it's to the family version or whatever, then you simply just push in your Switch version of it and you get the update right there. So that's essentially what
it's kind of, I guess it would kind of be in a way of like Days Gone, that upgrade that's happening. You know, they're releasing the remastered version for PlayStation 5 and you can buy it for $49.99, or you get the upgrade, I believe, if you already own the PS4 version for a lower cost. Kind of the same thing for like the Switch stuff. And then obviously they have like PlayStation 5 Pro enhanced, where games got free updates. That's the same kind of thing as like the free updates to the Switch 2 for Switch 1 games that are getting like free patches. It's kind of the similarity between the two.
Yeah, no, exactly. So Lethal, sorry, were you about to say something?
No, I was just gonna actually just focus a bit on like the title side of things. Like I thought probably one of the coolest things that we got to see here across like, you know, seeing all these different games. One of the coolest ones was definitely the From Software collab that they're doing, the exclusive title that they're bringing to Nintendo Switch 2, which is something that I think all of us were kind of shocked. We were surely this wasn't going to be an exclusive, because like I was like, guys, I think this might be an exclusive, and everybody was like, oh, I'm not too sure. We'll have to see. And at the end, they ended it with a bang.
Dusk
it was
Blood right here. Yeah, Dusk Blood.
Dusk Blood. Yeah, it looks sick. Like it literally. I mean, a lot of people have been saying like it kind of has like that inspiration, like it's if as if it was from like the what's it called, the Bloodborne type of like style and everything.
Oh, the
It
joke
looks
online
dude,
right now is that it's the Bloodborne remake that everyone wants from Sony.
yeah, they're calling it
So,
the spiritual successors. They're like, I'm
yeah.
like, bro, no, let's not do that yet, because I still want my sequel to that game or
Yeah.
even remaster of
So
that game.
let
But
me just go through the list real quick. So obviously we saw
go ahead.
Mario Kart World, then we saw game chat stuff, Switch 2 specs. Not everything obviously, but just a little bit. Then they started going into the Switch 2 edition versions of games. Dragon Drive, which I honestly just felt so weird watching, I'm not gonna lie. Elden
Oh
Ring
yeah, I remember that
Tarnished
one. Yeah.
Edition. Hades 2, then we got stuff like Street Fighter 6, Daemon Mechanica, or Machinima, Titanic. Then we got Split Fiction, EA Sports, Hogwarts Legacy. Then we got Hitman. Then we got to see Bravely Default. Then they go into the new Zelda game, which is the beat 'em up, not the beat 'em up, but the what is it technically called? It's just tons of enemies on screen, hack and slash essentially. Nintendo GameCube Classics coming, so we finally get our Wind Waker. Hopefully, Twilight Princess is thrown in there eventually. Borderlands 4, Civilization 7, 2K stuff. There in the Japanese version of the Direct, there were some Japanese only games that you can expect to see there. Cyberpunk is there. Final Fantasy 7 Remake, which obviously means we're probably going to get Rebirth on there, which is cool. Then some other just smaller indie games. Silk Song was shown off on there, funny enough. And then again, Dusk Bloods, the new Kirby game, and then Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is a 3D Donkey Kong. It's basically like Mario Odyssey, but Donkey Kong, at least from the looks of it and everything like that, including his new face, which I still got to get used to looking at, but regardless. So there was a ton of stuff shown off here, which is awesome and everything like that. But yeah, so anyway, Lethal, what go ahead and keep talking about the Bloodborne 2.0 remake, essentially. That's what we're going to start calling it.
No, yeah, just essentially like that was probably I think my most biggest surprise from this announcement or from this direct. I wasn't sure what would be the big the big surprise for me, but I think that one was like the actual like, oh wow, like they struck a deal with FromSoft, right? And they were able to make an exclusive game for Switch too. And it's crazy because I don't think most people associate Souls games with Switch. I feel like this is them. I think this is Nintendo taking like a big step, saying like, hey, like we're looking into getting into the more serious stuff. Like I think it's the first of many, right? First of many big type of games where you're like, whoa, that's going to be an exclusive on a Nintendo product. Like it's a weird, right? A weird connection. So I think this is Nintendo being like, yo, we're taking this serious with our next generation of Switch. So like, I'm actually really excited to see that. And yeah, I mean, Tallen went through all the different games too. And there are some funny stuff that I don't know how much we want to go into it, but like seeing the updates for like the new what's it, Jamboree TV, which is like the new version of the Mario Party game, them incorporating the use of this brand new Nintendo camera, which is kind of funny. I think we all laughed at it.
Okay, I have to say this right now. Game chat is just like, I get it. It's for the casual
that too. We didn't talk
side,
about that either.
but the lag, all the lag that we saw in the direct and everything was just absolutely atrocious. If anyone, and I mean if anyone, and I said this already before, if you buy that Nintendo Switch 2 camera, turn in your gamer's license, return your Switch 2, go touch grass, and think about what you did. And you are not allowed to touch a game again until you figure out what you did wrong. If anyone buys that, we'll never associate with you.
It's funny. It's definitely funny. I mean, it is cool for what it's doing, I guess, but it is just a weird thing. To see it used in games like Mario Party, I think that's where it's fun. But this is where I was telling like the guys, I was like, I don't know if they're gonna allow you to have like third party cameras, like other cameras on it, because that one
I would guess
awful. But most likely it's probably not going to be the case. But again, they had like those weird types of Nintendo things, right, that they added in there. Like that is such a Nintendo thing to see. But it was interesting to see that. And I think the other cool thing was for Metroid Prime 4, seeing the use of them using the Joy-Con as a mouse, which was something that was rumored for the longest time that nobody was sure if that was going to be the case. And that was 100% the case, that the Joy-Con can act as a mouse.
Yeah.
And so, they
Prime
used it for
right
Metroid
there,
Prime 4,
for Metroid
which is
Prime
really
4.
cool. And there were some mini games too, right? For like Mario Party, I believe, that also took advantage of that.
They did,
the mouse thing. Yeah. So like they're going to incorporate that other new like aspect of those Joy-Cons, which is interesting. I can't wait to see more of it. The other thing that sucks is that like you have to play that like with a desk or something. That's the only way you're going to really get the use out of that. So that's limited, but it's just one of those weird, cool Nintendo additions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about it too, but like GameCube, right? That was the other big software thing that's coming for Nintendo Switch 2. And I don't know if they said that was Nintendo Switch 2 only, but it might be. I don't know. Do you guys remember that? Because it might be a Nintendo Switch 2 only, but I don't know exactly either. I don't know.
I'd have to,
We'll have to double check
to
that
go back
one.
and watch it again, and then you
Yeah,
have to
we'll
find
double
like
check it.
the little text at the very bottom of the screen, essentially.
Yeah, we'll double check it. But that was the other big, like, I think, software thing besides the games, right? It was like, yo, Nintendo Switch or GameCube games are coming to Nintendo Switch, or at least Nintendo Switch 2. But they came out swinging. Like, they came out with the banger lineup of like launch, what's it called, GameCube games, and they're coming out on the day of Nintendo Switch 2 launch. So there's a lot of big ones, like the Pokemon Coliseums were in there. Was it one of the best like Fire Emblem games are going to be in there? So they had a lot of really good bangers dropping in with that service. So again, on the software side of things, I feel like we all were sitting here like really thrilled and happy about everything that they showed. It just came to some of the other stuff they were just like questioning. But yeah, that was probably some of the big cool things that we got to see for sure.
Hydros, anything else that you...
I can confirm, yes, those GameCube titles are coming exclusively to Nintendo Switch 2.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Confirmed on the official Nintendo UK trailer.
Go.
They uploaded like the clip. Yeah, it says exclusively to Nintendo Switch 2. Unfortunate, but I kind of get it if it needs the extra bit of juice.
Yeah, that does make sense.
The OG Switch can't do.
Yeah, that makes sense. I see it too.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, granted, because we do this as call it a side job, side hustle, whatever you want to call it, all of us will be getting a Switch 2, which hopefully we can actually get it on release day, because Nintendo claims that they'll be able to handle the scalpers and everything, but I doubt we'll be able to go walk into the store and buy it. So all of us, again, I think at least I know Hydros has, and I did as well. We have submitted our little like, hey, we're interested in buying it, but if we get those emails, if not, then we'll have to wait and see how pre-orders go on the 9th and everything. So, because again, April 9th is when those can start, and then June 5th/6th, depending on where you are and everything in the world.
Lethal can attest to how nervous I was to buying a PS5 Pro on PS Direct,
dude.
And it's gonna be the same way for Nintendo, because I've never bought a console from Nintendo.
Yeah, this whole new age of like buying your console online is just scary, man.
I hate it.
It's not the idea of buying it online. It's buying it from Nintendo. Like, I'm used to Amazon.
Yeah.
Like, I know I'll get it from Amazon, but it's like I've never bought from Nintendo.
Man. I feel like Amazon is just as bad. Like there'll be a link up and it's sold out. Amazon is telling me in like seconds. So like I just feel like across the board buying stuff online is just a scary process, man.
Yeah, I absolutely hate it. I'd rather go in, know that it's right there, that it's physically in my hand.
Yeah.
Pay it.
Yeah.
And then leave.
Agreed.
So, I mean,
like, especially the days of like GameStop, you could, especially with systems or even games, you just go in there and be like, hey, let me drop down like $5 for a game, reserve it, and you're good to go, right?
Yeah, and the worst part is that like retailers now, they get even like places like GameStop, but they'll only get like 5 Nintendo Switch 2s for their store. So like even that nowadays it's really bad. Like I think that was the case for like PS5 Pro or something like that. It was like they only got like 20 consoles per store, and then you have to hope that like nobody in your area is like to go in for it. So like again, it kind of goes to the fact that like I think online right kind of is the way to go. You might have a better chance, but I mean it's so tough, man.
It is. So but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. So all right, guys. But regardless, let us know your thoughts down below, everybody. Are you gonna be picking up a Switch 2? What are your thoughts on the game prices increasing? Because again, like we said before, Sony, Microsoft, 2K, EA, all of them are gonna be doing this. Every single person now, aside from indie games and obviously smaller developers and everything, prices are increasing. They just are. So what are your thoughts? Are you going to officially stop playing games now? Are you going to switch over to PC and get Steam sales only? Are you going to, because you have to keep in mind, one thing we always have to keep in mind here, at least with PlayStation and Xbox, we know eventually their games go on sales. You can get like their winter sales and everything. Nintendo never drops their prices. Or if they do, it's like $5-10 at most.
Amazon does. So, watch Amazon. That'd be the only, especially if you're getting a physical game, wait for Amazon to have something on sale. Because Nintendo definitely has sales eventually.
They're still few and far between though. So, but regardless, let us know your thoughts down below in the comments, and we'll be talking about this more this weekend live on our Twitch channel and on our YouTube channel. So make sure you follow us over there. Sub as always. Links will be down below as always. And Hydros, Lethal, thank you so much for joining me today. And until next time, everyone. We'll see you all in the next one. Johnny.